Honorable Minister of State for Mineral Development, Honorable Sarah Opendi, officials of the Government of Uganda, the Chairman of Uganda Chamber of Commerce, Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, members of the private sector, civil society representatives, development partners, colleagues from the United Nations system, distinguished guests and viewers. On behalf of the United Nations Development Program, and indeed our larger United Nations family, I'm delighted to join you today at this 9th Mineral Wealth Conference. Allow me to begin by congratulating Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, on the occasion of the 58th Independence Anniversary. Let me also take this opportunity to extend hearty congratulations to the government and the people of Uganda upon joining the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, a global standard to promote the open and accountable management of oil, gas, and mineral resources. I thank the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development and the Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum for organizing this Mineral Wealth Conference amidst the challenging and unprecedented times we are faced with in this COVID era. The conference provides us with a platform to foster dialogue and build awareness on how the extractive industry can contribute to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. This dialogue is also timely as we start the implementation of the 3rd National Development Plan and discuss post-COVID-19 recovery and resilience building, including the future of mining. Distinguished stakeholders and viewers, Uganda is endowed with favorable geological environments that host a vast range of mineral deposits, including gold, iron ore, phosphates, and development minerals such as clay, gravel, and granite, amongst others. The volume of minerals and metals extracted from the earth has also grown exponentially in the last decade, with the contribution of mining to gross domestic product, GDP, increasing from 0.3% in the fiscal year 2012-2013 to 0.7% in the fiscal year 2018-2019. The sector also employs a significant number of youth and women. This is particularly so in the development minerals, which is a sector in which we find minerals and materials that are mined, processed, and manufactured and used domestically in industries such as agriculture, construction, and manufacturing. Development minerals employ an estimated 400,000 Ugandans, with women constituting 44% of the workforce. The subsector also contributes about $350 million in production value to Uganda's GDP. Development minerals also have a potential to offset Uganda's trade deficit by 3.5% if their value chains are optimized. The exploitation of mineral resources can therefore bring great benefits, including creating decent jobs, generating increased fiscal revenues, and spurring innovation and accelerating the country's progress towards the attainment of the UNDP 3, Vision 2040, and the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 1 on eliminating poverty, SDG 5 on gender equality, and SDG 9 on industry, innovation, and infrastructure, amongst others. I commend the government of Uganda for recognizing and developing a program in the recently approved 3rd National Development Plan to tap into this potential. I also applaud the efforts of the government to, with the support of UNDP, streamline the regulatory framework for mineral development, particularly updating the Mining and Minerals Policy 2018, gazetting the 2019 Mining Regulations 2019 to facilitate electronic governance of mineral resources, and enacting the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region Act 2017. Distinguished stakeholders and viewers, with resource extraction expected to grow in the foreseeable future, we must do more to ensure that these vast, yet untapped mineral resources benefit all citizens and drive human development. We must always keep in mind that mineral resources are finite and will at one point be depleted or not be economically viable for extraction. Therefore, It is critical for Uganda to maximize its mineral wealth to its fullest while the opportunity still remains. It is also important to maximize this potential in order to reduce and manage risk associated with dependence on natural resources that may become stranded as a result of potential shifts in international financial and political economy processes, greening, and decarbonization. This will require that we collectively look at a number of imperatives to achieve the development goals of the country through our mineral wealth. Notably, and I want to highlight a few points here, ensuring the alignment of the domestic policies with the African mining vision of the African Union Commission. The African mining vision seeks to promote equitable, broad-based development through the prudent utilization of the continent's natural wealth. Secondly, providing the necessary technical skills to support contract negotiations so that the country can benefit from higher rents from its commodities. Again, strengthening benefit sharing mechanisms for shared resources. This is one of the ways to promote wealth creation and to ensure that the principle of leaving no one behind, as espoused in the Sustainable Development Goals and the NDP 3 goal of increasing average household incomes and improving the quality of life of Ugandans, are achieved. I also want to say that we have to collectively work together to combat illicit financial flows and promoting effective taxation mechanisms and regulatory frameworks. In addition, we must address the issue of wasteful mining. Mining efforts, whether small, medium, or large scale, must be undertaken in a well-thought-out manner that optimizes the value and market of these minerals. We must therefore invest and facilitate access to the appropriate technologies, markets, as well as affordable and adequate financing and investments to ensure that supply and value chains are well developed and elaborated to widen the opportunity baskets for fellow Ugandans. In line with the above mentioned, I'm happy to say that the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, within the framework of NDP 3 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, which has been recently approved, and UNDP's own 5-year country program will support the following initiatives. First, UNDP will support integration of climate change and biodiversity considerations, environmental protection measures, and how emission standards can be integrated into policy frameworks. This is very important to ensure that we can also balance the trade-offs as we mine. In collaboration with key stakeholders and partners, UNDP will support offsetting of the negative impacts on ecosystems, livelihoods, and the atmosphere, for instance, oil spills, mineral pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, environmental rehabilitation measures to increase ecosystem resilience and protect biodiversity, and the undertaking of gender-sensitive conflict risk analysis to identify drivers of conflicts, capacities for conflict resolution, and existing traditional and non-traditional dispute resolution mechanisms. Second, we will promote people-centered exploration and extractions through strengthening oversight capacity and responsibilities of Parliament, civil society, and the media, as well as building capacities for policy implementation, monitoring, and enforcement of legal and regulatory frameworks. In line with this, I would like to acknowledge the African, Caribbean, Pacific, ACP, and the European Union for supporting efforts to build the profile of development minerals in 6 African countries, including Uganda. In Uganda, the government and UNDP are partnering with a number of stakeholders to strengthen the capacity of artisanal and small-scale miners. Third, UNDP, together with our UN family, will facilitate knowledge exchange through South-to-South cooperation, focusing on best practices in translating mineral wealth into growth and development, such as we see in Botswana, which is the world's largest producer of diamonds by value. Botswana has set up mechanisms to ensure that a significant part of its mineral resource revenue is allocated for investment in health and education. It also invests a portion of its mineral wealth in its Pula Fund, which serves as a buffer against price volatility and preserves a share of the rents from diamond exports for future generations. Fourth, we would foster forward and backward linkages with the local economy, focusing on technology transfer to and integrating local enterprises owned and operated by women and men. UNDP will broker partnerships with entities such as the African Guarantee Fund for small and medium enterprises to avail financing and access to appropriate technologies necessary to enhance the participation and competitiveness of local enterprises in the various mineral value chains. I wish to share that UNDP has supported efforts towards inclusive financing of the mining sector, as well as training of many businesses to formalize their work and to also grow. I also affirm UNDP's commitment to support Uganda to position itself within the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to strengthen regional trade activity, as well as harness collaboration for mutual growth. So in essence, in the spirit of South-to-South cooperation, again, this is where we are going to play an active role to support the government and the people of Uganda. Fifth, UNDP has supported business continuity of government through the provision of virtual collaboration tools such as Zoom, as well as assortment of information, communication, and technology gadgets to enable government to function virtually and to continue operations in several ministries, departments, and agencies during the lockdown period. UNDP also, in partnership with Jumia, launched an e-commerce platform to sustain supply chains for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises and to connect them with consumers online for the very first time. We will therefore develop or adapt a similar platform to support artisanal and small miners, the Juakalis, as a mechanism to enhance their competitiveness and connect them with consumers online. Distinguished guests and viewers, as I conclude, I must emphasize that at UNDP, we view a large endowment of hydrocarbons and minerals as an opportunity to transform development prospects if they are managed in a transparent, inclusive, and sustainable way, and their proceeds are fairly distributed. I reiterate UNDP's commitment to partner with the government, private sector, civil society, academia, and the media in ensuring that the country's mineral wealth contributes to sustainable economic and social development as we discuss the future of mining. I would like to thank the government of Uganda and the Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum once again for co-hosting this conference and for the close relationship with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and by extension, the United Nations family. We have been partners for several years, and we look forward to continuing and strengthening our cooperation and partnership for many years to come. I wish us all very fruitful deliberations. Thank you for the opportunity.